Before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like to say. Number one, you folks have beaten the cold and wind, and you should congratulate yourselves because it proves that Floridians can do it. And the second thing is, that during the course of this service, there's an announcement that envelopes can be obtained way back there if you want to have your contribution credited to your pledge. And I think that's kind of hokey. So I have put some envelopes right here, and right now is a great time to grab them if you need them. And I know I've seen all of you before, so I know you know what I'm talking about. And that's the end of my ad-libbed stuff, except for one thing, which you can look forward to. So, good morning, and welcome to the weekly multi-platform service of Tri-County Unitarian Universalists based in Summerfield, Florida. We acknowledge that we occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the indigenous Florida peoples. I'm Tim McCusker, today's service leader, and we're glad to have our minister, Reverend Kristina Spaude, leading worship today. Hello to our members and friends, and a special welcome to those who might be visiting here for the first time. Unitarian Universalists are united not by a creed of shared beliefs, but by a covenant of shared values. We celebrate that we do not need to think alike to love alike. It is the respect and encouragement of each other's diversity of thought that truly binds us together. For the curious and the seekers, Unitarian Universalist values and covenant may be found on your order of service and at our website, triuu.org. Our newsletter, included in the timetable, can also be found there under News and Events. We have announcements, but first, no snow on the ground, but your telephone still rings. Please silence your phone. Thank you. Okay, I think they're done now. We have some announcements. Donations for our annual rummage sale will be accepted starting tomorrow. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The 3-day sale is scheduled for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The hours Thursday and Friday are from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Saturday from 9 till noon. More details and a volunteer sign-up sheet can be found on the table behind AV. Please promote this fundraiser via your various social networks. On February 12th, the forum presenter is Lou Angora from our own Tri-UU. He will share his professionally produced documentary film, Words on the Wind. The forum begins at 4 p.m. and is followed by a potluck dinner. That's February 12th. This concludes our announcements, and as we now begin the service proper, we will recite our vision statement. Please join with your voice as we say together, "We will be an influential voice for progressive religious values in a diverse community." Our chalice keeper today is Glenn Merkel. We invite those of you joining us on Zoom to light your chalice at home.
You do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it is all going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities and challenges offered by the present moment and to embrace them with courage, faith, and hope. Thomas Merton.
Our opening words this morning come from Samantha Lynn Wilson. This is "We Practice Being Called." A call to worship is secretly a call to focus our attention. Choosing to focus our attention is countercultural. Daily, we are called to worship at the altar of many devices. Surveillance systems we let take lead over our every waking moment. We are called by headlines set purely on our activation and by tools that gamify our every human connection. We are not called, we are led. We are not led, we are entrapped. Instead, here, we practice being called. We are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called by these ancestors, this wood, the room's particular light, this chalice's particular fire, and these people around us. We are called to focus all our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we cannot cancel nor control. In the words of the poet farmer Wendell Berry, we are called here to do something today that does not compute. Spirit of life, call our collective attention to this precise moment, the threshold between then and now, the moment upon which we hang our honest promises like portraits, chiseled and framed by our own hands, imperfectly and together. Come, let us worship together. If you would please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our opening hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. For the beauty of the earth,
grateful praise. Mind's delight for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, for the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild. Source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
So this morning, in place of a traditional story, I've been thinking about experimenting with a few things, and this is one of the manifestations of my experimenting thoughts. I have invited Joyce Axelson Lorch to offer a brief reflection. My colleague in St. Pete has been telling me for years now that they have a piece in their service called A View from the Pew, where people in the congregation get to offer a reflection on the theme of the worship service. And so I have invited Joyce to share a few words with us this morning on gratitude.
Good morning. Thank you for having me share on gratitude. There are so many definitions and interpretations of gratitude. It can be a noun or a verb, as well as an adverb. For me personally, gratitude is a state of mind, a way of being. I began to practice gratitude almost 50 years ago with a daily list of what I was grateful for. Gratitude brought me to living a life as a glass half full rather than a glass half empty. Sometimes I have an overwhelming sense and feeling of deep gratitude rising from deep within myself. Sometimes a thought will bring forth an exclamation of gratitude. I learned somewhere in my journey of life that I could develop an attitude of gratitude by practicing it before, during, and following challenging inconveniences of life, or in the midst of a deep personal wound or world situation. Having a practice of gratitude has trained my mind to see different perspectives of the same events and has certainly eased my body, mind, and spirit during past and present political upheavals. It has provided me with strength, courage, and conviction, as well as a softening of my heart center. As I become aware in the present moment, this present moment, of someone, something, someplace, a piece of music, a spot in nature, I am overwhelmed with the bubbling up of joy from within. Recently, my honey had a medical emergency, one of those inconvenient situations that startle and shake up one's peaceful state of being. I credit my gratitude practice for keeping me in the moment, peaceful and able to respond to this situation. I became grateful for the EMTs who arrived and gently lifted him out of bed, put him onto a stretcher, and carried him to the ambulance. I was immediately grateful that whatever was happening in that moment was being tended to. When I arrived in the emergency room, the medical team had already ruled out heart or stroke and had him hooked up to IVs, monitors, and were in the process of preparing blood transfusions to address an internal bleed. I let gratitude guide me as the doctor who performed an endoscopy explained that he couldn't complete that procedure because he had nicked an artery and my husband began to bleed out. I am so thankful that he was able to stop that bleed. Instead of complaining about the walk from my car to the hospital door and back twice a day, I became grateful that I can walk comfortably and shifted my focus to the green grass and noticed trees gently swaying with the breeze of warm air and the playful squirrels darting by and listening to the birds singing. I'm grateful for the generosity of this congregation in maintaining and sustaining a peaceful presence in the community. I'm extremely grateful for this building that provides a quiet, peaceful space for a meditation group, along with being so grateful for all who choose to meditate in a group setting. I'm grateful for all members who generously give their time, their resources, their love, and so much that contributes to the vitality of the congregation. I'm grateful to the Board of Trustees for their generosity of time, energy, and talents, and so much more. I'm extremely grateful for our minister, Reverend Kristina, whose sermons constantly inspire my internal growth and stimulate my brain with the intellectual depth of her work. Reverend Kristina's initiative and creativity, along with her passion in delivering her sermons and experimenting with new ideas to pique her curiosity, brings me great joy and deep gratitude. Thank you, Reverend Kristina. Gratitude is the foundation of my meditation practice and has gifted me with the awareness of being loved and cherished, and of a deep awareness of a power within me and outside of myself that guides me and loves me and has a much better plan for me than I do. Thank you for listening.
So much, Joyce. Thank you so much, Joyce. The meditation group, if you are interested, does meet twice a month. I believe it is meeting later this week. Not this week, next week, next week, if you are interested. Okay, if you have any interest in possibly offering a reflection, I would love to hear from you. I was thinking we might try to do these monthly if people are interested. The upcoming month's themes are paying attention. Embracing possibility, awakening curiosity, and flourishing together. All right. Part of the reason why I lost those words in my brain is because I also need to make a couple of announcements that are all related. As some, if not all of you know, but you will in a second, our pipes are frozen. There is no running water in the building at this time. So there will be no coffee hour, no social hour following the service today. And if you have concerns about needing to use the restroom and need to leave early to attend to your own needs, we understand. All right. So that is one of our sorrows today, transitioning into joys and sorrows. But now, as we move deeper into our service, let us turn inward to consider transitions, the joys, sorrows, and concerns that we all experience in our life's journeys. There are 3 bowls of stones of different colors representing the gratitude of joy, the grief of sorrow, and whatever feeling you're having related to your concerns. After those present have placed stones in the not water, our ushers will place stones from each of the bowls into the not water today on behalf of those not present in the building and those who have chosen not to or who are unable to come forward. Those online are invited to type into the chat to express what is on your heart. When all the stones have been mingled together in the not water, we will take a moment for silent meditation or prayer. You may now come forward. Let us take a moment now to reflect on our own joys, concerns, and sorrows, and those of others in this beloved community. And I would add today, especially those of our neighbors in this particular cold that we are not used to experiencing here. After the moment passes, the sound of chimes will bring us back into this space, and we will sing our responsive hymn this month, Spirit of Life.
Our sharing of abundance speaker today is Diane Popp.
Hello, I'm Diane Popp, and to just let you know how I got here, I started out in Catholic school at a young age, and then after that got confirmed in the Lutheran Church, but I always thought outside the box and didn't really agree with everything that I learned. So I hadn't been in a church of any kind since I was a teenager. And then in 19 something, I can't remember the year exactly, but my daughter asked me to go to the Baptist church with her on Mother's Day. Well, that was a mistake. The minister was talking about the problem with the world today is that women want to go out and work. And they don't stay at home and do what they're supposed to do. Well, I kept trying to stand up and my daughter kept holding on to me. And she kept saying, "Don't embarrass me, don't embarrass me." And then at the end of the sermon, the minister said, "You'd be lucky if you were my wife today because she got a new dress to wear to church today." Oh my gosh. So that was the last time I was ever in a church. I did want to join some sort of congregation because of what's going on in the world today. I was just felt very alone, and my husband wanting to move to the villages. I was like, really? So I did find this UU here, and I love it here. Everyone's so kind, and we do think alike in ways that I enjoy. So I just want to say I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad you're all here. And that's it. Thank you.
Here's an update from the stewardship team.
Can everybody hear me? Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm not Pat Felton. I am Jan Freeman. This is Jerry, our Sanity Island mascot. And we're here this cold morning to give you an all-important update as to our status on our pledge drive. So, would you do the honors? Where can you see it? Okay. So here's where we are. I loved that da-da-da-da-da-da. Could I have that one more time, please? All right. Thank you, thank you. I'm not used to being in public, else I'm on the verge of a panic attack right now, so just bear with me. So we are halfway through our pledge drive, and I'm very pleased to announce that as of this Sunday, we are more than halfway to our goal of 190,000. Yes, listen to that crowd roar. So as of today, we are right at $115,000. So I'm happy to say we are adding one more. I knew I'd figure out a way to screw this up, y'all. One more ring to our rainbow. Just in case you're curious, that brings us to about 60% of our goal. And wait a minute. What's that? Okay, so Jerry's telling me I should curb my enthusiasm just a little bit, because he said, look, I've been here a lot longer than you have, and I know that the vast majority of pledges come in weeks 1 and 2. So, all right, I'm schooled. That makes sense. Oh, okay. He says weeks 3 and 4, historically speaking, not quite as good. So he's telling me, what? Okay, he's telling me I need to get y'all fired up. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to share a little bit about myself. I am a nurse, and I've been an RN now for a little over 45 years. I've also had the honor and the great privilege to care for our nation's heroes as both an Army nurse and also as a staff nurse at over 5 of our nation's over 125 veterans hospitals. My husband, Drex, wave, honey, love you. He is also an RN. We met taking care of patients at the VA hospital in Nashville, Tennessee. He served for over 35 years. And I'm not sure how many of you were here last week for our sermon, but I loved it. It spoke volumes to me, and a little bit about righteous indignation and sometimes the very welcome use of like profanity. And I don't know about you guys, but this last week, I'm sorry, it's just been a shitty week. It has. I had to put my foster dog to sleep yesterday morning. I cried all day. But this week has gotten really personal at our house because of our work history. there just aren't enough expletives out there to describe how shocked, appalled, disgusted, embarrassed, humiliated, and quite frankly, terrified at the murder, I guess, is the only thing I can think of Alex Preddy, who is also a VA nurse in Minneapolis, Renee Good. So much terrible is happening here. And I don't know about you guys, but when I make it to the doors of the church, I'm usually hanging on like by my fingers, sometimes by pinky, sometimes by fingernail. My tank is so empty, and but I know when I do, I'm going to leave here feeling better, and when I exit, I'm going to feel lighter, I'm going to feel happier, I'm going to feel stronger, I'm going to feel more hopeful, and like, yes, once again, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to get up, I'm going to show up and try to be a positive influence in a country that I love with all my heart, but I rarely recognize anymore. So for me, this truly is my sanity island. And like our previous speaker, when my husband and I and our dear friends, Jeff and Darlene, wandered in the doors here in October of 2024, we were looking for a place that we didn't feel like we needed to get up and walk out of 5 minutes into the service. And man, did we find it. It has meant so much to me and so much to us. And I am so grateful to our Sanity Island and our congregation here. So you might think, how does that matter? How does that relate to our pledge drive? Well, to me, our pledge drive is our testament. It is our testament for today that our church matters. This place, I mean, it is some kind of special. I don't think I need to tell anybody in here that, but I mean, it is. And it's worth saving, it's worth protecting, it's worth defending. So today, Jerry and I ask you to search your hearts, maybe your pocketbook, your bank account, and in honor of my colleague, my fallen colleague, Alex and Renee Good, and the good people of Minneapolis, to make a pledge, make one that is pretty good. And that's going to be my new mantra for a while is I'm going to be pretty good. I'm going to try my best to be pretty good, and I invite you all to join me. Thank you so much for your time. I love all of you. Thank you for being my Sanity Island, and let's do this.
We will now receive our offering. If you are visiting us for the first time, please do not feel obligated to give. You are our guest, and we are happy to have you here with us today. This is a time in our service when those who wish to make some monetary contribution to our congregation's vision and mission give to support this community and its outreach. If you are putting cash in the basket and you want that donation credited to your pledge, please put the cash in a manila envelope with your name on the front. Envelopes are available right there and in the back of the sanctuary. I invite the ushers to come forward.
Our reading this morning is from Julian Jamaica Soto. This is Taraxacum. Even though they are edible, someone decided that dandelions are weeds, stragglers to destroy, to uproot. But dandelions never got the memo, never thought to care. Busy instead with dropping roots, flinging seeds, unfurling shoots, and persistent in digging in that taproot to depths of 2 or 3 average adults end to end, the tiny yellow flower survives. You are no less resilient, reaching both down to the strength that holds you and up to the light and out with your beauty. And you know, having sunk your effort into the cool, damp earth, that while dandelions can be clipped and fought, uninvested in anyone's opinion, they throw their sparkling futures onto the wind, tomorrow tucked into seeds, and grow all the way back, strong and bowing at the very same time. Joanna Macy's name, specifically along with the work that reconnects, is one I've heard for years among some of my colleagues. She was an author and teacher, a scholar of Buddhism, systems thinking, and deep ecology. She was also a translator, and someday I might share some of her translations of the Austrian poet and novelist Rainer Maria Rilke with you. Good translators are a particular joy for me, having trained as one myself. Macy passed this last year, along with a number of other greats, and given the challenges we are facing increasingly, I decided to dive into her co-authored book, Active Hope: How to Face the Mess We're In with Unexpected Resilience and Creative Power, written with resilience specialist Chris Johnstone, a doctor, mental health specialist, and author. After reading Active Hope, which I highly recommend, I imagine that all of Macy's work is equally helpful and powerful. I chose Active Hope over her other works because, gosh, if there was a title for these times, that one is it. Drawing from their individual work and their collaborations over years and years, Macy and Johnstone have experimented and refined tools that they've developed, taught, and practiced with thousands of people around the world. I don't know if anyone does not feel overwhelmed these days, and that feeling of overwhelm makes it easy for us to just freeze. Like our pipes this morning, evidently. We just look around and it's all so bad and so hard and so cruel and so much, and where could we even begin? One person acting against the so muchness of the world is never going to achieve the change that we'd like to see. And usually at this point, we shut down. The overwhelm is too great and we don't see a way forward, and so we just stop. So let us right now take a deep breath or two, if that is a comfortable thing for you. Try to release some of the tension in your body if you can, and that's a safe thing to do. A colleague once did Reiki with me, and I had an hour drive home, and the Reiki relaxed me so much I kept falling asleep. And I said, we will never do that again. So sometimes it's not safe. We learn these things. One of my own big practices is relaxing my jaw muscles. Could maybe sway back and forth in your seat a little bit. these are some ways that we can make a little spaciousness within and help us open to the moment, to what we need, to attune to others. We'll be doing some more practices later this month, tools that hopefully anyone can use that will help all of us feel a little more grounded and reconnected with ourselves and the world. Having experienced trauma for years, unlearning what trauma taught me and releasing it from my body as best I could, along with learning trauma-informed care practices, have all been important to me, and we'll explore some of that together. In the meantime, I wanted to start with Macy and Johnstone's active hope practice, which is cyclical, can be done by most anyone, and can be used however you're coming to it, whether you're just feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed or something else. The starting point of this work is the idea that we are in a time that Macy, Johnstone, and others call the Great Turning. Like other periods when human life and society has been dramatically impacted by some change, this one too, we hope, will take its place in the list. The Great Turning calls for a transition or transformation of our lives from, well, let's just say the wildly wasteful, plastic-filled, harmful society we live in today to one that is ecologically sustainable and in right relationship with the living earth and its creatures. There are 3 dimensions to the Great Turning. They are holding actions, life-sustaining systems and practices, and shift in consciousness. Holding actions are meant to slow down the damage being caused, raising awareness, campaigns, petitions, boycotts, rallies, legal proceedings, direct actions, protecting what we can, saving biodiversity, clean air and water, forests, topsoil, and restoring and safeguarding communities against exploitation, war, starvation, and injustice. Life-sustaining systems and practices are rethinking the way we do things. This is both micro and macro, individual, community, and corporate work. Reconsidering how we travel, where we shop, what we buy. Macy and Johnstone say social enterprises, micro-energy projects, community teach-ins, sustainable agriculture, and ethical financial systems all contribute to the rich patchwork quilt of a life-sustaining society. And last, shift in consciousness, motivated or inspired by caring and compassion for ourselves and for the world around us. That feeling of belonging to the earth makes us want to grow in connection. Being with others, being together helps us not only feel less alone, but also like we can make a difference. We can rely on one another for support and strength, pep talks, accountability, and more. We need all 3 strands to make a braid that will hold us and the work tight. On to active hope. There are a few parts to this practice. The first is gratitude, which is why I invited Joyce to speak earlier. Coming from a place of gratitude. We did some gratitude practices also back in November, but this is more than that, deeper maybe. It connects gratitude with how we live and move in the world. It connects practicing gratitude as part of how we think of and experience life is a key to resilience. Beginning with gratitude helps us center ourselves and open our hearts. From there, we move into lament, honoring our pain for the world, witnessing how the world and our neighbors hurt is important to do because it not only connects us empathetically with others, but also can inspire us to act differently with energy and determination. We don't judge the way we're feeling, just feeling and noticing it, naming it to let go of some of its power. There are so many things that may be hurting our hearts right now in the wider world and within our daily lives. In this part of the exercise, it's best to just name whatever is present for you. Moving on from there, refresh, starting with new eyes. In this component, there are what Macy and Johnstone call the 4 discoveries: a wider sense of self, a different kind of power, a richer experience of community, and a larger view of time. These help us remember or learn, perhaps for the first time, how we are connected with others and the world more deeply than we are taught, opening up our ideas of the ways we have and can exert power by moving from power over to power with models. By being and doing with others, we experience community, improving our sense of belonging in the world and being supported by it. And last, using our imaginations and knowledge to experience our sense of time, thinking not only of our ancestors, but extending far also into the future as a way to be mindful of our duties and responsibilities to those who will follow us. And last, returning to the world and the work, going forth. This is when we have been inspired and know what contribution we can make to the world. It might feel too small or seem like it will have too little impact. The point is that we try anyway. You know how in time travel stories there's one rule? Not to change anything, not to do anything that will change what is happening, right? When you go back in time, you don't ever do anything that will change what is happening because you never know what will happen. And yet when we think what we offer will be too small, who knows? We should at least try and keep trying. That's how we learn and grow and make some change, even if it's just in ourselves. That matters too. Although this is a cycle, a circle, and it can be completed once through, it is meant to be a spiral, a practice that is repeated again and again. Once we've done it a few times, not only will it take less time to think through, but we may feel more connected and ready to move forward with each turning. Dory Midnight painted a representation of the spiral that has been up a few times while I've been talking. It's a dandelion whose deep roots are where we remember and hold gratitude. Even when the upper part of the plant is cut or pulled or ripped away, that gratitude remains deep in the ground, ready to grow new life. Its sturdy stem is where we can honor our pain for the world. It is from the stem that the plant and flower that we know grows. The flower, that tiny yellow blossom, is where we start again seeing with new eyes. We take in the world and look out and see all the potential. And the flower that becomes the sphere of tiny white seeds, that's where we send our wishes out into the world. The wishes that dream, yes, but also the wishes we are ready to work to bring to life. So we're going to go through the active hope spiral once now together. It's your starter package. So for those who are in the building, just speak out loud, and if you are on Zoom, you can use the chat. Just name aloud, what are some of the things that you give gratitude for right now? So many things, right? What are some of the hardships, challenges, difficulties, hurts, aches, etc., that you are experiencing or witnessing in the world right now?
Environmental destruction. Things I can't do.
It's a lot. Maybe just exhale a little bit. Now, given those two things, the things that we have gratitude for and the pains of the world, where are you feeling drawn? Maybe it's an organization, maybe it's to build something within this congregation, maybe it's taking some time to care for yourself or your family, however you might define that. Are you feeling a little bit of a pull somewhere? And if so, where might that lead you? And last, what is something that you can do to carry that vision, that call forward? To release it into the world like dandelion seeds, to perhaps take root, or maybe it just means you're learning to try something new. Sometimes the seeds that we send out into the world just feed the birds, and that is perfectly okay too. What does your grieving, aching, angry, fill in the blank heart need in this moment? And what do you have to offer each other? Let's start there. If you would please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our closing hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, and our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words. Our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. Glenn Merkel will now read our chalice extinguishing message.
Totally without hope, we cannot live. To live without hope is to cease to live. Hell is hopelessness. It is no accident that above the entrance to Dante's hell is the inscription, "Leave behind all hope, you who enter here."
I invite anyone who has just begun to visit with us and who wishes to do so to introduce themselves. Please raise your hand and an usher will bring a microphone to you. Please keep the microphone close to your mouth so we can hear you better. I don't see anybody I haven't seen before, so. If you would like to receive regular communications on upcoming Tri-UU events, please take and fill out a guest card, which will be available at the door after the service. We're interested to hear how you experienced this hybrid worship service and/or what you took away from the sermon. For those of you who are on Zoom, raise your hand to speak or type your comment into the chat box. For those here in the gathering space, please raise your hand. If there is time, Reverend Kristina or I will call on you. Please share your name and keep the microphone close to your mouth so we can hear you better. And our Zoom friends would like to see your pretty faces. So if you're willing, they would love to see you while you're talking down here, right here, on the floor though. So.
Yes, speaking of gratitude for all the people that made today's service and every service possible, the whole, seeing so many people coming up and expressing their gratitude for things. But I especially want to acknowledge Joyce Axelson, who we saw, and her message. We don't get to see you enough, Joyce, and it was beautiful to see your face and to hear your message of gratitude with, despite what's going on, despite all, maybe because of or in response to all the negativity, to find and to develop, to foster gratitude is really important. So thank you to everybody, but especially to Joyce, who we don't see enough.
Hi, I'm Liz Perdue. I'm going to join with Andrea to, again, thank you for a beautiful service and everyone's involvement. We can start the Joyce fan club today because she has, both Joyces, but Joyce Axelson is an amazing meditative teacher. I know we're not supposed to do announcements, but she has changed my life. Thank you, Joyce. And I would encourage all of you to attend. It's only every other Thursday, but please try it.
Hi there. Randall, I would like to offer some feedback. I love dandelions. I don't know why, but I'll tell you why. It's been a while, 10 or 20 years ago, but I heard this story about where most of it goes on underground. Just seems like a really good, I guess, parallel metaphor or something, that it appears that if you leave dandelions alone, if humans weren't involved, they'd be about a foot tall. That's just what they do. But we came along and we started cutting things and having pastures and cutting with lawnmowers. So the dandelion learned how to grow sideways for about 12 inches and pops up 1 inch just under the blade of the lawnmower. And I just think that's a cool thing that nature learned how to do.
Thank you again for this wonderful day, this wonderful sermon. I just want to repeat something that has made a difference for me. I'm repeating it because I did say it once before here. instead of saying, I have to do something, I started saying, I get to do something. If I'm washing dishes or I need to go to the store, I need to go to a doctor's appointment, saying I get to go brings up the thought that I have a car, I can get there. My hands work, I have hot water, I can do this. And it really has made a difference for me. So I just wanted to share that again, just to see if, that's part of my practice and see if it works for you. Thank you.
Transformation is one of our values, and I would like to invite all of you to assist in transformation of this room for the rummage sale. I have a chart, and I'll set it up front so you can see what gets done first and what gets done ninth, so that we can go step by step, make it a little bit easier. Thank you.
Our closing words from Barbara J. Peskin. Because of those who came before, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizon of their vision, we too dream. Let us go remembering to praise, to live in the moment, to love mightily, to bow to the mystery.
Eat here today, but you can stay and talk among yourselves and do some work and transform this room so that we can have a rummage sale. And the Zoom room will stay open for 20 minutes.